Now, yesterday I went to a public park in Sydney to hear women speak about their rights and how they feel they're being infringed upon by the extremes of the trans activist movement. The event featured women of all ages and backgrounds telling their stories and was headlined by prominent women's rights campaigner Kelly J. Keane.
The thing that we need to say and remind everyone, and the thing that other Australians might not know that you're not allowed to say, is that women don't have penises. Men don't have vaginas. Non-binary is absolute nonsense. And transitioning children is abuse.
But in Australia in 2023, women can't get together and talk about things like male bodies invading female-only spaces, whether that be bathrooms, changing rooms, shelters and even prisons, or women's sporting competitions, or issues surrounding confused kids being subjected to irreversible treatments. No, any such get-together is impossible without police protection. And there was a large contingent there yesterday, including mounted police, and still the entire event was interrupted by trans activists held back by a line of police who screamed into megaphones, chanted about Nazis and generally carried on like a pack of enraged clowns. They were so hostile that a trans woman who happens to be conservative and was there to protest both sides, she's not happy with either side, well, she told me she did not feel safe standing with the trans activists.
Well, actually, I came here to initially protest both sides, but I have to say the hospitality from some of the feminists, etc., behind me right now, it's been quite cordial, and I wasn't really expecting that. I know some of the people over there. They've assaulted me, they've assaulted some of my political friends. I'm not putting up with that. They decided to march from where they were and get as close as possible. If the police weren't there, they'd start, who knows what they do with the women here.
I did try to speak to more of the trans activists to hear their side, but all I got was aggression, demented hate and bile, and disgusting insults we can't play on a family program, but here's a taste that we can show you of what I'm talking about.
Sky News! Sky News! Racist, homophobic, transphobic piece of spineless you! Yeah, you laugh. You laugh.
We did speak to one activist who had crossed the police line and was protesting the female speakers peacefully. And I asked her about why the trans activists felt entitled to disrupt women having their say.
What do I have to say?
But I think when it becomes, you're like, oh, like people are unhappy with the way that you are saying, like, oh, me and my friends and my sisters should not be treated as women, even though we are women.
It's frankly incredible and more than a little depressing that women in this country who hold very much mainstream opinions about gender cannot meet in a public park in broad daylight to speak without police protection. And the truth is that the bulk of the modern feminist movement is not with those women. They stand with the trans activists. And that's something this attendee noted.
I think the saddest thing about it is that a lot of them are actually young women, and that's who we're here trying to support and defend and protect and safeguard.
The trans community may be tiny in number, and let's be clear, there are plenty of them who want nothing to do with their activists. But the reality is that LGBTQIA+ activists have disproportionate power and influence, and not just in academia anymore, but in media, in public institutions and the private sector. It's time Australian women woke up to what is happening to their rights in the name of diversity and inclusion.